And welcome back, everybody. It is another edition of New Guitar Day. And today is December the 20th, 2023. It is the last full day of autumn. Winter officially begins tomorrow. Fortunately, we've been incredibly blessed with very mild weather. So today's guitar doesn't need any acclimation at all because it's in the low 50s outside. And I'm quite confident that the guitar does not need any time to wake up. So we're just going to free it here. Once I get the initial box out, I will go ahead and turn off the camera and spare you having to... Oh, I actually sent paperwork this time. Interesting. Last time they did not. Spare you the taking out of the next box. And well, I'll spare you of this too. We'll get down to the nitty-gritty. We'll be back. So just like the last guitar, again, I'm a suspicious person. By the way, this is a Gretsch Electromatic 5210 Jet 2 in fire stick red. And here's my suspicion, and again, this has just been my experience, but my experience is that a brand new guitar should come in a factory sealed box, and it shouldn't be taped. And you're going to witness this here firsthand, that this box has in fact been taped, and I believe that the staples have been popped. And well, we'll see, maybe the staples haven't been popped, I don't know. And if they haven't, no complaints. But if they have, I'm going to complain. But it would appear that the staples have not been popped. So, my suspicions are unfounded that it does appear that this box, well, now see, this is sort of goofy because this box has tape up and down the sides. This is a different setup from the other guitar that I got, which is interesting because the other guitar that I got is a Streamliner, which is the least expensive in the Gretsch line, and it had a much more robust inner box. So we're just going to look and see. Again, I hate to be a suspicious person. I do. But if they're selling, this guitar does feel like it's going to be about 8 pounds. If they are selling open box guitars as new guitars, that's not acceptable. But I'm not going to blame anyone as of yet. I mean, just based on the initial wrapping, it looks like it could potentially be a brand new guitar. We will pay attention to the little details. Sometimes when they repack these guitars, they're not as on top of wiping fingerprints and stuff off. Whereas when you get a guitar from the factory, especially let's say an upper class. I mean, this is a mid-tier Gretsch guitar. So generally from the factory, they will go out of their way to make sure there's no fingerprints on the guitar. Oh, this guitar is metal flake. Who knew? Okay, so there we go. We had a fellow who said his knobs were all off. My knobs are on. Go ahead and pull this stuff out. Let's just take a quick look at the OK check card. This was made in November of 22, but it was dated 3/1 of 23, so I'm not sure Maybe Gretsch inspects their guitars in Arizona when they come in. I have no idea. So, okay, so there you go. It's certainly a pretty guitar. Do the quick inspection. It's cool to the touch, but doesn't seem to be any worse for the wear. No headstock crack issues. So we're just going to go plug it in and play. Because after all, actually I'm going to weigh it. Let's go ahead and weigh it. See what this pup weighs. I'm going to guess. I could have got a job at the circus. I'm going to say it's 8.5 pounds. Let me just try it one more time. Yeah, doesn't feel excessively heavy for a Les Paul style guitar. We'll be right back. Well, the scale says 8.8. I don't know why. I seem to attract chubby guitars. But the good news is I play these sitting down, so it's really not an issue. I would have preferred something in the lower 8s, but it just seems to be my luck. Anyways, we're going to plug it in, play, touch it, feel it, and we'll be back later with some further impressions. Okay, welcome back. I've played this guitar for about a half hour, and here's my instant review. The three things that I don't like about this guitar are completely superficial. It just shows you what a shallow person I am, because at the end of the day, how the guitar feels and how it sounds are by far the most important thing. Because if you were to close your eyes, or God forbid you were blind and you didn't have the use of your eyesight, the three things I'm going to mention would be completely meaningless. And on the other flip of the coin, the playability out of the box, the tone, the feel, 100%. I really like the necks on these guitars. Some would say it's a rather slim or slender neck. And again, if you had big hands, this probably would not be the right neck profile for you, but I have smaller hands, so it works perfect for me. The P90s sound great. I'm playing at low living room volume, but I get no hum, no buzz. And this is a 100-year-old house with an ungrounded electrical system, so if there was any potential, if it had a propensity, is that a word? If it was inclined to have some buzz and hum, this would be the house that would have it. So again, out of the box, it's intonated. I tuned it up, stretched the strings twice, played it for a half hour, stays in tune. I'm guessing these are Diodario strings unless they just fake it and put the colored balls on the end, but the strings feel great. Fret ends are nice and smooth. So yeah, here's what I don't like about the guitar, and again, it's completely superficial. I don't love the color. The color advertised was a different color as far as I'm concerned. This is a bit of a metal flake. It's not a bad color. You never know if the camera's actually showing you what my eyes are seeing, but it's a nice color. What I don't like about this guitar, and again on my other Gretsch and most of my other guitars that have binding, I don't like that the binding is pure white. I think it just lends itself better just to do a cream that matches the pickup covers. Again, totally superficial. I was watching some videos on this guitar before I got it, and I couldn't help but notice that on the models that have the Bigsby, they do a lighter finish on the back of the guitar that shows more of the color of mahogany, more like this guitar, which I prefer because you can see the wood. With this finish, you can't even see it. I mean, again, it's like they just painted over it. It's a black back, which I think is unfortunate. I think that's a poor choice from a cosmetic point of view. And depending on what guitar you get, again, the other Gretsch that I got has the Indian Laurel fretboard. This one's not bad. I mean, it's not like it has any weird streaks on it or anything. It's just a little, it just looks mildly cheesy. That's a way to describe it. But anyway, superficial. So number 4 is I wish it weighed a little less, but again, when I play sitting down, makes no difference at all. And since the chance of me ever playing standing up again for any length of time is literally zero. This doesn't bother me. It's probably characteristic, but if you see the tailpiece, the bridge, it leans slightly. The studs look like they're perfectly straight. Maybe that's just the nature of the bridge. I like the wraparound tailpiece. Thing's got incredible sustain. And I forgot what their actual terminology was, but they said something about the neck being set lower, and you can tell that it is, in fact, compared to other guitars of this nature, how high it sits. This just really sits right down to the body. Does that have any advantage? I don't know. The guitar plays fine. Action might come down just a touch. There's certainly room for it, so that's nice. And yeah. So, as the usual case, maybe we will play this guitar for a week, 2 weeks, and get to know it. But thus far, I'm quite pleased with it. So again, I believe this is, I keep forgetting what guitar it is. Don't go in. It's a Gretsch G-5210, and this is an Electromatic, and it's a Jet, and they call it the Jet 2, so I have no idea what the Jet 1 was, what the Jet 2 is. This is a Jet. So again, it is December the 20th, final day of autumn, officially full day. Tomorrow begins winter. 2023, and we'll see you in a week or two. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. It is now December the 27th, 2023. It has been a week since I got this guitar. This is the Gretsch G-5210 5210. It's in the Electromatic tier of Gretsch guitars, and so I've had it for a week. I've played it for a week. I've enjoyed it for a week. This is a guitar that I really like, but I don't love it. And at this point, it's really important that I keep the guitars that I really love, so this guitar is going to go up for sale, and hopefully someone who can appreciate it more than I will buy it. There's already plenty of videos on this guitar. And obviously, as you know, I don't play on my videos for a couple reasons. I don't play well enough to try and entertain you, and I don't have the setup to give good fidelity. And I have to admit that I have a bit of a sore spot when people demonstrate their guitars and they're recorded really poorly. It just doesn't do anyone any favors, not the guitar, not the person who's playing, and not the listener who's scratching their head going, why is this person doing this? So it is a beautiful guitar. As I told you before, I have a couple things that, again, I don't love the color. Very superficial, but I don't. It's not an exact replication representation of what they had online. It was more of a red, which was what I was hoping I was going to get. Obviously this is a red guitar, but it's a darker red and it's a metal flake, and they make no mention of that. Again, nothing negative in either of those things, it's just not what I like. The other thing that puzzles me is that the binding on this guitar is pure white, and that goes for the body as well as the neck. And I just prefer more of a creamy color on my binding. Again, totally superficial. The guitar sounds great. It's a heavy guitar. Again, it's a little bigger than a Les Paul, so that would make sense. The thing that puzzles me is supposedly this guitar has a chambered body. And I've seen a few videos where a person's actually shown where they cut out. This thing would probably weigh 12 pounds if it wasn't a chambered guitar. So thank goodness for people who enjoy their aligned spine, that they did some chambering on this guitar, because even with the chambering, again, it weighs in at about 9 pounds. But all in all, it's a very nice guitar. I think for the price, for $299, I mean, again, different standards, different flavors. I would say that this is certainly a stage-ready guitar that could handle it under a professional setup. The fit and the finish is really, really good. The hardware seems absolutely fine. I like wraparound tailpieces. This guitar's got incredible sustain. It just rings. The P90s are nice, good tones. So yeah, I think it's a really, really good guitar. It just, the neck on Gretsch guitars are surprisingly slender, which again, I've got medium to small hands, so it's not a problem for me. Anyone with good sized hands might want to avoid at least this model. And the other guitar that I have, the Streamliner ES335 style guitar, because these are slender necks. So again, it's just a matter of taste, it's a matter of what fits you. But this is a nice guitar, and I hope I can find someone who will enjoy it the way that I hope that I would. And if I never sold it and I ended up keeping it, I certainly wouldn't be unhappy, because again, I like the feel, I like the sound, and the color is not that big of a deal. But I have plenty of guitars, so at this point it really has to sort of meet the threshold of really, really, really absolutely loving it, and this guitar just don't. So anyways, thank you very much for joining me. We'll be back soon for another edition of New Guitar Day. Again, December 27th, we're almost at the end of the year 2023. It's been an interesting year, but as you get older, they are all interesting. It's all a gift. Everything is a gift, so enjoy the gift. Thank you.